It's time for the Tom Sumner Program. The Tom Sumner Program is a live variety show with music, comedy, and special guest interviews every Monday through Friday.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to be with you, Tom. You know that.
Yay, Tom! I love it in Flint!
You're very astute, Tom.
Not an easy question.
I'll debate Andy Dillon on your show.
Well, that's a very good question. Hello, darling. This is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, with Tom Sumner.
I'm all right, Tom. How are you? You lucky day, Mr. Sumner.
Ciao, Tom. How are you today?
That's a good question.
Hi, this is actor, comedian Joe Napodi, and you're listening to the Tom Smothers. I'm sorry, what's his name? Oh, Sumner. The Tom Sumner Program.
Good morning, Tom. How you doing?
Hey, at least I got the Tom part right.
Stay tuned, because it's on now. The Tom Sumner Program.
Support for the Tom Sumner Program comes from Mott Community College. From its inception in 1923 to the opening of its Regional Technology Center in 2002, Mott Community College's mission to provide high-quality, accessible, and affordable educational opportunities and services continues to improve the overall quality of life in a multicultural community. Learn more about Mott Community College at mcc.edu. And the Tom Sumner Program.
Christmas is sure to fail. Santa is stuck in jail. Mrs. Claus freaked and the elves are on the street trying to raise money for bail. Christmas is sure to fail if we can't get Santa out of jail. Santa was on his way with a whole lot of stuff in his sleigh. At the very first stop, he was spotted by a cop who said,
"Man, what you doing up there on that rooftop? You ain't got no ID. Well, you're gonna have to come along with me."
Christmas is sure to fail. Santa is stuck in jail. Miss Claus freaked and the elves are on the street trying to raise money for bail. Christmas is sure to fail if we can't get Santa out of jail. So they took him to the judge in the middle of the night, and the judge said, "Yeah, I think you're nuts, all right, but I'll give you one chance to prove me wrong. Make me believe you're the real Santa Claus, and if you can do that right, well, I'll let you sleep it off at home tonight, yeah."
Santa hunkered down low, and he put his finger on the side of his nose, and he started humming Christmas carols real low. He said, "When you were 5 years old, your name was Greg. You left me milk and cookies and a note that said,
Dear Santa, all I really want is a puppy. I'll love him forever and I'll name him Buddy."
And so you did for 15 years, till Buddy passed away and you cried many tears, and you lost your faith like so many do. But I got a little something to tell you that's true. The love you give never really goes away, and it all comes back on Christmas Day. So here's a little something that I want to give to you.
And Santa handed him a puppy named Buddy Jr.
What'd the judge say?
Yeah, man, don't leave us hanging.
Well, the judge sat back and his face turned white. His lips started quivering. There were tears in his eyes. He looked at that puppy wrapped up in his sleeve and said,
"Good God Almighty, I believe. Bailiff, set that man free. He's got things to do. It's Christmas Eve."
Somebody got to believe. I believe. And as he rode off out of sight, he said,
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Our Christmas music is better than everybody else's because it's local. That was the Rusty Wright Band from right here in good old Flint, Michigan, USA, with Santa is Stuck in Jail. Up next on, well, I guess we're into our third half of our 3-hour tour already, getting this week kicked off for this Monday. For our guests coming up and joining me in the studio here in just a moment, are part of a new program for high school dropouts that want to get back on track. It's called Flex High, and we're going to be talking with them about that. And then, boy, we got all kinds of cool stuff coming up this week. We're going to be talking about green chemistry on Wednesday, or on Thursday, rather. And we're going to have a bunch of live music for Friday's show. We're going to really get into the festive spirit coming up this week. Bill Jeleno from the Libertarian Party ran for governor in 2018? 16. Anyway, he's going to be joining the Roundtable regulars for Armchair Politics this week. And welcome back, everybody. This is the Tom Sumner Program. My guests this hour are part of a new opportunity for young people in the Flint area and in Michigan to further their education. More than 10,000 dropouts in Genesee County in 2018 alone now have a new option for earning their high school diploma thanks to the creation of Flex High School. And here to talk about that, joining me in the studio, we've got like the whole upper tier of people here. We've got Dr. Caprice Young, who is the National Superintendent for, is it Flex?
Yep, Flex High.
And then we have the principal of the Flex High school that's here in, actually located in Burton. Michael Springs is here. Michael, welcome to the show. Caprice, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And the state superintendent, I told you, we got them all. For the Flex High program is Dr. Shelton Jeffries. He's here as well. Shelton, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Sir.
Let's talk about this a little bit, because dropouts number in the 50% range in Flint and Detroit. We've been reading statistics like that for several years now, and there are all kinds of problems with funding and really there isn't any money to work on problems. They can barely keep the doors open. How did Flex High come about? Caprice, you want to pick that one up?
Well, we're a specialized program, so we're a public school that just concentrates on students for whom the traditionally structured schools just don't work. And that's always going to be about 10% of the high school students. And in some areas like Flint or Detroit, it can be upwards of 10%, 25% sometimes. And the reason why the students need a different context is because maybe they have to work full-time to support their family, or they're raising their own kids. We have a lot of students who have babies. And so in order to make it work for the students who need those kinds of schedules, we have a very flexible program. So the students don't come in from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. They come in at specific appointment times and get one-on-one support with the teachers.
Really?
And work through their program directly, one-on-one.
Then what happens degree-wise? I'll pass this one to Shelton. Do they then, are they studying for a GED, or do they get an accredited diploma or a diploma from an accredited high school?
That's a great question, Tom. We are not a GED program. Our students once they successfully complete the course requirements, achieve a Michigan diploma.
And from the Michigan branch of Flex High?
Yes, sir. It's a Flex High School diploma, but it is an accredited Michigan high school diploma.
And they can take it with them right into college or into whatever they want to do in life.
With no limitations.
With now there's a Flex High. Am I understanding that this just opened, that there's a physical presence in Burton?
Well, we already had one site that was located right here in Flint, in the Flint Development Center, and this is our second opening. So this is our second center that's open, and it's open just over the border into Burton. And the idea is we want to be able to reach more students in different neighborhoods, because what we find is students usually don't want to go more than about 3 miles to school.
Well, that makes sense. And so they come to this location for this personalized training. We have the principal here, Michael Springs. Do these kids ever get a chance to spend any time in the principal's office, or what is the role for a principal in a Flex High?
Well, the number one role is educational leader and relationship builder. Really, the success of our students depends on the relationships that are built between the staff and the students. You know, one of the things I always say is students don't come to school to factor polynomials. They come because there's somebody there that cares for them and is there to help them.
You know, we were talking about some of the different needs that kids have. Is it just that the standard sort of production model of school doesn't work for everybody, or do we have a case where generationally we're into second and third generation families where they just don't really care that much about education?
I wouldn't characterize it as a lack of care. I believe that you really crystallized it with your opening when you said that some models don't work for all students. We happen to believe that whichever setting can serve the child's needs the best should be the ones who help that student. At Flex High School, we happen to focus on students that have been disengaged, separated from more traditional
Are you
settings.
Targeting dropouts initially?
We do. But not just dropouts, those students where it may not be a fit as it relates to bullying, disconnected with their social peer groups. We try to create a safe environment that tailors specifically to student needs so that we can put them on a pathway to success.
And it really works. And the reason why it works is that with a lot of students, if they're sitting in a class with 25 to 30 other students, maybe it's hard for them to pay attention, or they get distracted, or the teacher's teaching to the average kid in the class and one of our students might be way below or way above. And so that means that those students need individual attention. So 14 to 24-year-olds will come to us, and what we do first is really get to know them. They'll sit down one-on-one with a teacher. They'll talk about what classes they've already taken, how they've done in them. We'll do a little testing to see what their reading level is. And then we'll set them up with exactly the classes that they need. And so when we set them up then with exactly the classes that they need, they're going to really focus in and have that one-on-one attention. And by doing that, they're not sitting in a class listening to things that they've already learned or having trouble comprehending things that they're not ready to learn. They get it right where they need it, and that's why it works.
How and where did this concept begin?
Yeah, it was started in the high desert in California about 18 years ago, and it was started by a couple of guys in the Rotary Club who said, we've got to do something about all these dropouts in our community. And they got together.
This was when?
Yeah, this was 18 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was a fairly rural area in the high desert of California where they were seeing that students were not all making it. And they wanted to do something about the kids who were dropping out because of having their own children or falling behind. And so they started in a church gymnasium. And over the following 18 years, refined the program, adding things that the students needed, making changes to be able to address the needs of a broader group of kids, ensuring that they were doing the best for special ed kids or English language learners or students who wanted to learn some kind of career tech. And it's grown. So we now serve 47,000 students in communities all across California and Flint here in Michigan and in Ohio, and it's growing really fast because we're meeting a need, and that's what's making it work.
More with Michael, Shelton, and Caprice from Flex High straight ahead.
The Tom Sumner Program. Old-fashioned radio for a new generation.
Crime Stoppers needs your help in solving the murder of Sultan Brewster. Your information could be worth up to $2,500. On Sunday, March 17, 2019, around 2:40 a.m., 23-year-old Sultan Brewster, also known as Manny, was found with a gunshot wound in the parking lot of a hookah lounge located at 13th and South Saginaw Street in Flint. He later died from his injuries. Submit tips by going to crimestoppersofflint.com or calling 1-800-422-JAIL. Remember, your voice matters.
Hi, this is Tom from the Tom Sumner Program. If you like talk radio that makes you think without telling you what to think, check out our whole show weekdays from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern at TomSumnerProgram.com. Selected segments are also available on this and other radio stations, but you can hear us anytime. Daily editions of the Tom Sumner Program repeat online all day and night on the show's website. Past shows can be found in the website archives. My long-format interviews with New York Times best-selling authors, photographers, and writers from National Geographic, as well as artists, musicians, candidates, and elected officials, are made possible by listeners like you. Support the Tom Sumner Program and Civilized Talk Radio. Visit our website at TomSumnerProgram.com and become a member. You can make a one-time gift or become a sustaining patron by taking the link to the Tom Sumner Program Patreon page. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your support. Do you ever feel like you need an attitude adjustment? Are you wishing there was a magic pill or a new app for your mobile device? Why don't you try live local music? Music can make you dance, bring back fond memories, inspire you to be more creative, whether you attend a child's school concert or recital, go to a local symphony concert, visit local bars and restaurants that feature dance music, sing-along piano, or jazz and blues. Music could be just what you're looking for. Supporting live local music is more than a way to support your local artists and economy. It's a great way to improve your own quality of life. Support live local music. This message is brought to you by the Flint Institute of Music at thefim.org and the Tom Sumner Program at TomSumnerProgram.com. It feels good to support live local music. MTA Flint is nationally recognized for continually seeking to provide sustainable, reliable, and cost-efficient transportation for individuals throughout the region. Through work-related and non-emergency medical transportation and Your Ride services, MTA is moving people with future and alternative fuel technologies. More information about MTA Flint and specialized services is available at mtaflint.org.
East Village Magazine is the monthly neighborhood magazine read all over Flint. With support from grants, donations, and advertisers, East Village Magazine's talented local writers give you an in-depth look at local news, issues, and people that make Flint, Flint. Copies of East Village Magazine are available at many of your favorite shops and restaurants around Flint or online at eastvillagemagazine.org. East Village Magazine, community-focused and community-supported.
The Tom Sumner Program. Old-fashioned radio for a new generation.
Technical assistance for the Tom Sumner Program is provided by Swiftlet Technology, engineering and IT services at swiftlet.technology.
The Tom Sumner Program. Old-fashioned radio for a new generation.
Javante, Jacob, Katia, Andrew, Tia, Violet, Dustin, Shahizi,
and the Tom Sumner Program.
More with Michael, Shelton, and Caprice from Flex High straight ahead. You know, there's a lot of people, when they first hear dropout statistics, the first thing they think about is, you know, all these kids today, you know, that it's behavioral, that, you know, they're bad attitudes, they're criminals, or they're joining gangs, or they're into drugs, or, as you mentioned, maybe they're babies having babies. But there's this sense that they have bad attitudes and bad behavior. Does the one-on-one approach mitigate that, or is there a behavioral transformation that needs to occur simultaneously? And is this a principal question?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up, because that's a natural assumption when you hear that our target audience.
Well, people think dropouts are bad kids. And I mean, that's the first thought.
And it would be dishonest to say that we don't have students that have suffered from some of those challenges. But across the board, Tom, our children have really, really beautiful hearts, and they want to be successful. So the key for us is to focus on establishing that relationship. The adults that we recruit and retain at Flex High School have a passion for working with students who've overcome challenges. And we want to make sure...
who have challenges to overcome.
Exactly.
Who have challenges to overcome. But it is not a stretch for many of us to think of family members and loved ones who've had similar challenges. So these students aren't aliens. They're definitely children who are worth investing in. And once they understand that we care about them, we want them to be successful, and we believe in them, they meet those high expectations.
We have a basic philosophy, and that is that everyone who walks through the door deserves respect for the simple fact of walking through the door. And our students will tell you they get respect even before they earn it. And that's because we all know what they went through just to walk through the door. Because a lot of our students, they've been expelled before, or their family's homeless, or they've been in foster care. They've been in 5 or 6, sometimes different schools. So our kids are amazingly resilient and strong. So we respect them when they come through the door, and that respect carries right into behavior in our learning centers, where, frankly, our students act like adults, they get treated like adults, and there's no baloney.
Does the one-on-one nature of the educating make that a little easier to accomplish, or mitigate some of the behavioral problems, because they're just engaged? You know, they're not off in the corner being a class clown or whatever.
No, that's exactly right. The one-on-one attention makes all the difference in the world, because they
is
they
that
get that
referred to as the Socratic method?
Well, no, the Socratic method is actually usually done in a classroom, where picture Socrates under a tree asking questions to the multitude of students. And those are called Socratic questions, and they're intended to get the large group of students thinking and engaged. What we do is, if you can imagine that Socratic method but one-on-one, it's really more like a conversation, the way that we're having here. So if I'm the student, I'll pull out my algebra work, and I'll say, I'm having some challenges with this equation. Can you show me how to do it? And the teacher will say yes, and walk the student through step by step. And then maybe assign another set of equations. The student will go maybe sit 10 feet away, work on it, and come and get help when he or she needs it. And having it right there makes a huge difference. We also don't have the kinds of distractions that you would have on a traditional school site. I don't know, I remember lunch period in my high school growing up, and we used to refer to it as the Lord of the Flies lunch period. Because, you go and you stand in line, and everything's crazy, and there's a food fight, and then you have to figure out who you're going to sit down with, and that means social pressure.
The actual fight.
and our centers, when the kids are hungry, they eat, and that's just how it works. But
is FLEX an acronym, or is that just a utilitarian term to describe how the program works?
No, FLEX is just about being flexible. We do whatever it takes to educate the students, and in this case, the adults have to be flexible for the students instead of the students having to be flexible for the school.
In that case, that seems kind of labor intensive.
It's worth it.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand that part of it, but then it gets to, cost benefit analysis, and how do you fund it and show the kind of results that people expect to see for the money.
I think that's a great question. First, and there's really a double entendre to flex, because we're challenging these students to flex their mental muscles, which haven't been flexed in other settings. When you talk about return on investment, if you think about these are students that have been disconnected from the educational setting locally, getting them re-engaged, getting them on a pathway toward achieving a high school diploma and then being productive citizens removes the challenge of them being an economic drain. Every dropout that the region suffers impacts negatively the economic vitality of this region.
Mike, as principal, you're there on site. What does a school day look like?
Well, students have particular appointment times. So they're coming in for their appointments. Say first one's at 8:30 in the morning, 8:30 to 10. Our teachers are there. We have a pod set up, so each teacher has its own pod, and the students who report to the school sit with their assigned teacher. That's when the teachers, they do their check-in. They see, hey, what kind of work did you do while you're at home? Hey, what kind of questions do you have? Hey, how did your weekend go? Questions like that. It's we talk about individualized. It's that one-on-one talking.
And then how many students will a teacher see in a day?
In a day,
and how many pods are there?
24.
24 students.
24 students. So six per appointment time, and there's 4 appointments. So we keep it really intimate, and that goes back to behavior and motivation. I mean, our mission is to motivate, mentor, counsel, and teach. So those first 3 things, they're the actual, that has to happen before the teaching can go on.
This is fascinating because I too am a high school dropout. I went and took a GED and went to college, but I grew up in a house where my parents were not highly educated, but were lifelong learners, and insisted that be the rule of the house. And so while they didn't have college degrees, they were insistent on gathering information, learning information, and then they accomplished great things. So I didn't take a class or anything. I just went and got a GED, and then I went to college for a little while and ended up on the road as a musician. But I sympathize with kids that go to public school and it just doesn't work for them. I get it. It isn't about they don't have the ability to learn,
right,
or the motivation to learn.
Right. They're not broken.
They're not being engaged.
Yep. Well, and a traditional school setting works really well for about 80% of the kids, but for the 20% that it's not a good match for, we got to be there.
If they have good parental support.
Yeah.
Parental support and quality learning environments, right?
Yeah. We have about 10% of our kids who are homeless or in foster care, And what happens with our homeless and foster care kids is that they have so much dislocation in their life. They get moved all around. They miss big gaps of school, and a lot of times they're really, really bright kids. They've just gone through so much that what they really need is just some very consistent adult support. Someone who cares about them, somebody who's not going to say, oh, you're stupid because you're 15 and you're still reading on a 5th grade level, but instead somebody who says, hey, you've had a crazy life, let's get it all together and show the world how smart you really are.
In a case where you have kids that are moving constantly, are you able to hang on to them long enough to have that kind of impact?
Well, there are kind of two answers to that question. One is we hang on to them as long as we can, and get them through. And one of the nice things is that we don't have attendance boundaries. So if they move, they can still come to us as long as they can get themselves there. And the second answer is we are working to have centers all across the country because there are 4.5 million young people between the ages of 16 and 24 who don't have a high school diploma and who don't have a job. And we see it as our mission to ensure that every single one of those 4.5 million young people have a future.
And so the hope is that just like there might be a health clinic in every community, there'd be a flex high school in every community where kids could go. You don't have a set time frame to do this. There are just certain goals to achieve, and it can be done as quickly or over as long a period as necessary?
That's right. So we are open completely year-round. So if a student drops out in, say, April, but decides they want to go back to school, he or she can come back anytime they want during the year, and then just keep working all the way through on their diploma until they succeed.
How do you pay for it?
We're paid for like any other public school is paid for. So we get a little bit of money from the state for every student that we are educating, and we get it on a monthly basis. So we might have, say, 100 students in October, but 300 students in April, because students tend to drop out over the course of the year.
Yeah.
And the state pays us for how many students we have on during any given month.
At the back end.
Yeah.
That's got to be a challenge.
Managing the money is always a little bit of a challenge, but
interesting. So you have count days, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, Mike can give you more details about that, but actually, Michigan, while we get not very much money per kid, we do get it regularly and on a monthly basis, so that we can make sure that we always have enough teachers and tutors to be able to support the students that are walking through the door.
Do you have any sense, Mike, about how many kids go through in a month?
In a month? Well,
a year.
I mean,
however you can.
Right now we have 100.
You're brand new.
Yes. In Burton, we're brand new. In Flint, we opened our doors a year ago, September. So September of 2018.
So you've got a year's worth.
Within a year. I mean, currently we have 138 students in our Flint location right now. So, and we already have 10 students at our Burton location. So.
Have how many at
10 at Burton, and we've really...
And we opened yesterday.
I was going
to
make sure you pointed that out, because it is brand new.
Exactly.
But over the course of last year, we served more than 200 students. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I'm super proud of is that we're not just graduating students. A lot of times they come to us, they'll catch up on the work that they're doing, and then they'll rematriculate back into their local high school. So they'll get back into their high schools and
try and graduate with their class.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
Cool.
And so for us, success isn't just graduating students. Success is also getting them re-engaged. And so we try to work as closely as we can with the traditional high schools, because when our students go back and rematriculate, we want to make sure that those high schools are ready to catch them.
Is there an age cap?
22. So we service students 14 to 22, and the unique thing about that is the traditional schools only get funded through age 19 for students. So that gives us
the reason I ask is because Flint, like a lot of other struggling former industrial cities, has a large population of people coming back from prison. And there are all kinds of people looking for ways to try and figure out how to fold them back into everyday life, which is why I asked about the age thing, and also because there are some people who, at 16, 17, 18 really don't care.
And
a couple years later,
that's exactly
that
right.
was kind of dumb, Maybe I could do a little better than this.
And once that switch flips and they make that choice, we're there for them.
Is there a sense of how long it takes to get a kid turned around and graduated?
It completely depends on the student.
Really?
Yeah. So some students come to us.
I kind of knew that as I was asking the question, but
and students who are not reading very well yet, sometimes it can take them 6 months to learn how to read. But then when they learn how to read, they can accelerate and go super fast.
What constitutes finished in a flex high school?
Oh, they have to pass all of the same courses that they would pass in a traditional high school.
But they could do all the coursework for an English class
in a month
over a 3-day weekend and move
not in a 3-day weekend.
But I have kids who did that.
We have we have it structured so that they can take 2 classes at once or 5 classes at once, go as fast as they want, or take their time. And that's why it works. And it's really important that we focus early on their basics, because in the United States, first you learn to read and then you read to learn. And so we want to make sure that they have the skills to become lifelong learners.
How do you have any sense for and maybe kids who know they can't read are less likely to take advantage of something like this, but do you find a lot of people showing up that can't read? Literacy is a real problem, but it's not one that's talked about and understood very much.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of students who struggle with reading, and we have some programs that we put in place, as Dr. Young said, to get that bedrock and that foundation built so that then they can be successful in their other classes. The greatest gains that our students make are those that have a low reading level. They can make a great gains in a short amount of time, and then that just helps success in every class now.
Now there are a lot of schools that are called credit recovery schools that are online, and what we find is that until students know how to read, putting them in an online program really doesn't work very well. And that's why we do it one-on-one.
No, they're going straight to the video games. I know that's what I'd do. But then once they... here's a thing that I'm concerned about. There are 10,000 dropouts in Genesee County.
Right.
And in your first year of operation, you were able to reach 200. How do you get the 200 you got?
Yeah,
it's relational. It's a very different experience, Tom. When I'll tell you the typical engagement. I'm a former high school principal, 1,600 students in a really challenged environment. When you have a student that comes back and says, I think I made a mistake, like you referenced, I want to get back into school, we would start, and I'm embarrassed to say it, but, well, this is how far behind you are. Our experience with Flex High School is we start with where you are. Listen, this is where we're going to start. We're going to help you. We're going to keep you encouraged. We're going to support you, provide you with the instruction.
Instead of how far behind you are,
absolutely.
This is how far you've gotten.
Absolutely. Now, do the students, do they incur the same challenges? Absolutely. But it's different when you have adults, caring adults, who believe in you and want you to be successful and are going to ensure that you get everything you need to be successful academically.
And it's really helpful that because it's one-on-one, the students are not kind of, in the fish tank with the rest of the other students. A lot of students, if you're feeling like you're behind, you don't want to raise your hand in class to get help. And so it's very private, and that allows the students to really dig in, work at their own pace.
I've always thought that the three words that were harder to say than "I love you" were "I don't know," or
I need help,
or I need help. But we're just so reluctant to admit we don't know something.
Yeah, see,
we'll just make stuff up.
Yeah,
just to pretend like we know.
Right, yeah.
Well, and that's why it's really important that we just have no judgment. It's not about judgment. If the kid walks through the door, that's a victory, and we're going to build on that strength.
Well, I can't believe how fast the time is going, but this is obviously an important subject and an important development in the area here. And so I want to make sure that people understand how they can share this information with other people and how they can, drill down a little deeper on what we've been talking about. Is there a website? There
is. So flexhigh.org is the web.
Easy.
Yep, flexhigh.org. And they can also just call. Our phone number is 810-652-8270. And I'll say that one again, 810-652-8270. And just call, come in, and it doesn't matter what day of the year, we'll be there.
And is that a role that you play, Mike? Somebody walks in off the street and says, "What is this, and how do I do it?"
Yep, absolutely.
and you're the first stop.
I'm one of the first stops. Yes, we work as a team. So
and where is it?
We're at 1245 South Center Road here in Burton, or 4121 Martin Luther King Avenue in Flint.
Okay, so you're maintaining both locations.
I am maintaining both.
It isn't a move of the one into
No, that is correct. This is a completely second location here in Burton.
Well, excellent. Brand new in Burton, but been around the Flint area for a little over a year now. And growing rapidly is Flex High. I just like the name of that. Mm-hmm. Although I think,
we'd
Flex,
love
you're
to
gonna
have
to
you
get
come.
like muscle shirts,
We'd love to have you come visit sometime.
I would love to. I would love
You
to do that.
You could do your show from our learning center.
Oh,
we actually could. We do a weekly roundtable that we take on the road called Armchair Politics. At Halloween, we do it from Hell Saloon in Hell, Michigan. Just a little silly thing. And last year we did it from not Bronner's, but the Bavarian Inn.
Oh, nice.
And
That's
interviewed
great.
Dorothy Zender.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We'd love you to meet some of our students.
Well, and I would love to do that.
Absolutely.
So we'll trade cards and have your people call my people.
Yes, sir.
We'll get it all hooked up. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing this information with us, and more importantly, sharing the information with students that you do. Dr. Caprice Young, the National Superintendent for the program Flex High, and the Michigan Superintendent, Dr. Shelton Jeffries, and almost Dr. Michael Springs, the principal of Flex High in Burton. Is there a principal at the other location as well?
No, I am the principal over both. So.
Oh, so you're
got my work cut out for me.
You're the Flex High overlord.
Exactly.
Anyway,
a little bit of an overstatement, but
it was nice meeting all of you. Thank you so much for coming over and spending this time with me. I appreciate it. And with that, we're going to have more of the Tom Sumner program straight ahead.
The Tom Sumner Program. Old-fashioned radio for a new generation.
Discoveries. They happen when we least expect them, in places we thought we knew. And discoveries have a way of teaching us a little more about ourselves along the way. Welcome to Flint and Genesee County, where up north meets down south. Home to Michigan's largest county park system and a vibrant culture. A place filled with discoveries we've yet to make, throughout acres of beautiful lakes, wetlands, and woods, and in the diverse city beyond. where the uplifting melodies of gospel choirs fill the air, where the work of renowned artists color the galleries and museums, where the fresh fruits and vegetables at the downtown farmers market awaken our senses, and where the cultural center and planetarium broaden our view of the world. Let's spend a few days enjoying the wonders of Flint and Genesee County, where the joy of discovery is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
MTA Flint is nationally recognized for continually seeking to provide sustainable, reliable, and cost-efficient transportation for individuals throughout the region. Through work-related and non-emergency medical transportation and Your Ride services, MTA is moving people with future and alternative fuel technologies. More information about MTA Flint and specialized services is available at mtaflint.org. Do you ever feel like you need an attitude adjustment? Are you wishing there was a magic pill or a new app for your mobile device? Why don't you try live local music? Music can make you dance, bring back fond memories, inspire you to be more creative, whether you attend a child's school concert or recital, go to a local symphony concert, visit local bars and restaurants that feature dance music, sing-along piano, or jazz and blues. Music could be just what you're looking for. Supporting live local music is more than a way to support your local artists and economy. It's a great way to improve your own quality of life. Support live local music. This message is brought to you by the Flint Institute of Music at thefim.org and the Tom Sumner Program at tomsumnerprogram.com. It feels good to support live local music. Hi, this is Tom from the Tom Sumner Program. If you like talk radio that makes you think without telling you what to think, check out our whole show weekdays from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern at tomsumnerprogram.com. Selected segments are also available on this and other radio stations, but you can hear us anytime. Daily editions of the Tom Sumner Program repeat online all day and night on the show's website. Past shows can be found in the website archives. My long-format interviews with New York Times best-selling authors, photographers, and writers from National Geographic, as well as artists, musicians, candidates, and elected officials are made possible by listeners like you. Support the Tom Sumner Program and Civilized Talk Radio. Visit our website at tomsumnerprogram.com and become a member. You can make a one-time gift or become a sustaining patron by taking the link to the Tom Sumner Program Patreon page. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your support. Support for the Tom Sumner Program comes from Mott Community College. From its inception in 1923 to the opening of its Regional Technology Center in 2002, Mott Community College's mission to provide high-quality, accessible, and affordable educational opportunities and services continues to improve the overall quality of life in a multicultural community. Learn more about Mott Community College at mcc.edu.
Tamaya, Sammy, Lauren, Maya, Raya, Riley, Ella, Gabby, Emma, Alyssa,
and the Tom Sumner Program.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman, then pretend that he is Parson Brown.
He'll say, are you married? We'll say,
No man, but you can do the job when you're in town. Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we've made
summer should be. Let's take the road before us and sing a chorus or two. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you. There's a Christmas party at the home of Farmer Gray. It'll be a perfect ending to a perfect day. We'll be singing the songs we love to sing without a single stop. At the fireplace while we watch the chestnuts pop.
There's a happy feeling nothing in this world can buy.
When they pass around the coffee and the pumpkin pie, it'll nearly be like a picture print by Courier and Ives.
These things are the wonderful things we remember all through our lives. Here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane.
Frosty the snowman was jolly happy soul, with a corncob pipe and a button nose and 2 eyes made out of coal. Frosty the snowman was a fairy tale, they say. He was made of snow, but the children know how he came to life one day. There must have been some magic in that old silk hat they found, 'cause when they placed it on his head, he began to dance around.
Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, look at Frosty go. Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, over the hills of snow.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Oh, it doesn't show signs of stopping. I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, let it blister and bluster and blow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Hi, this is Tom Bodette from Manger 6. We know you've been traveling a lot this holiday season, and you've probably been told there's no room at the inn. Well, that's just not the case here at Manger 6. Why, for just 29 drachma, we'll put you up in a warm, comfortable stable with plenty of fresh milk for the newborn. There's even individual stalls for your mules, camels, or whatever you happen to be driving across the desert. And in case unexpected visitors decide to drop in on you, shepherds, wise men, holy ghosts, it's not a problem at Manger 6. There's plenty of frankincense and myrrh to go around. This is Tom Bodette from Manger 6 reminding you there's always room at this inn. We'll even leave a star out for you.
Merry Christmas, baby. Well, no, you sure did treat me nice. I said, Merry Christmas, baby. Well, you sure did treat me nice. Got me a diamond ring for Christmas. Now we're living in paradise. Everything is mellow. I got good music on my stereo. Everything is mellow. Got good music on my stereo. I wanna steal a kiss from you, my darling, standing underneath the mistletoe. We'll say Nick came down the chimney on Christmas Eve, left all his pretty presents underneath the Christmas tree. Merry Christmas, baby. been good to me. I ain't had a drink this morning. Ooh, but I'm lit up like a Christmas tree. Christmas tree. Merry Christmas, baby.
The restroom door said gentlemen, so I just walked inside. I took 2 steps and realized I'd been taken for a ride. I heard high voices, turned and found the place was occupied by 2 nuns, 3 old ladies, and a nurse. What could be worse than 2 nuns, 3 old ladies, and a nurse? The restroom door said, gentlemen, it must have been a gag. As soon as I walked in there, I ran into some old hag. She sprayed me with a can of mace and smacked me with her bag. I could tell this just wouldn't be my day. What can I say? It just wasn't turning out to be my day. The restroom door said, gentlemen, and I would like to find the crummy little creep who had the nerve to switch the sign. 'Cause I've got 2 black eyes and 1 high heel up my behind. Now I can't sit with comfort and joy. Boy, oh boy, no, I'll never sit with comfort and joy.
That wraps it up for today's edition of the Tom Sumner Program. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to all of the guests who are on the show, the folks from Flex High, and also Paul Napper, author of Power of Agency, and Crispin Boyer from National Geographic. Tomorrow we're going to have, I think, highlights from 2019, but lots of great stuff coming up this week. Green Chemistry, Bill Gelano on Armchair Politics. It's going to be a great week, folks. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Good night, everybody.
The Tom Sumner Program is a live variety show. We want to acknowledge all of our guests who play such an important role in the show, and our cavalcade of cohorts from coast to coast for their regular contributions. Most of the musical accompaniment was provided by people in or from the Flint area. Many of the pre-recorded portions of the Tom Sumner Program are made possible by Flint's own Steve McComb and Pencil Sketch Recording in Nashville, Tennessee. If you have comments, questions, or suggestions about the show, find us on Facebook. This is Prue Clearwater. Join us next time for another edition of the Tom Sumner Program, and thanks for listening.